How many times you gonna ask that? Ask it this one more time. Ask it one more time. Ask it one more time. I'm going Super Saiyan on you. Sup? No. Right. Casey. Which one is it? I don't know.
A few years ago, I moved to a new city, the outskirts of a city, to be more specific.
Right.
It felt a lot more like a small town, with houses more spread out and things being really quiet and calm.
Sound crazy.
The house I bought was small but nice. I knew nobody before moving there, and I wasn't exactly a social butterfly, so I just kept to myself most of the time.
Okay.
A few days after moving in, though, a knock came at the front door.
What the hell?
I was in the middle of unpacking still, so I got up and answered it.
I promise you, Jesus. I promise you. If I get into a new house or new anything, security is the number one thing I'm doing. I'm setting up cameras immediately. Because why are you opening doors up? Especially if you out on the outskirts and secluded. Huh? Make it make sense.
The man was a tall, older guy with black hair and a patchy medium beard. He introduced himself as Todd, a neighbor from a few doors down.
Okay.
He wanted to say hi and welcome me to the neighborhood.
Okay, what's up? I'm not dapping you up. I'm not touching you. Nothing. What's up? How you doing? Okay, leave it at that. Leave it at that. Hey, you know what's weird? I was on a bus the other day, right? And it was late at night. I was going home. And I usually sit in the front of the bus. But then somebody was sitting near, like across from me. And the way their camera was set up, it was like they was taking a picture of me or recording me. The way that they was holding their phone. And prior to that, I've seen this woman a lot. We don't talk because what's the point? What's the, like, you know what I mean? So I know she usually gets on the bus around the time that I get on the bus. And so we've seen each other. But it was just weird, you know? It's kind of like she was holding her phone like this. You know, not like that person, like kind of like that, just like that. What? Oh, but I don't know. It was weird though. Like I don't know. All right. I don't know if she was. I don't know if she wasn't. But I still sometimes forget how well known I am on here. Well, am I well known? I don't know. Let me stop.
I appreciated the gesture, reciprocating the friendliness, and continuing the small talk for a few...
Friendly shit's my ass. Friendliness my ass. Why are we still talking to Todd? Why are we still talking to Todd? What are we doing? We just close the door in his face. See, I can't do this shit.
Minutes. He asked some basic questions just to get to know me. All the usual ones, like why I moved, where I moved from, and if I moved with anyone. In the context of being a new neighbor, these didn't seem like off-putting questions at all.
See, I understand where Todd coming from, but I understand where he not coming from. You got to do all of this in one day? You can't spread it out over time? Hey, my name is Todd. Okay, let me leave. Hey, sunset, yeah, bye, leave, blah, 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 you leave, sunset, leave, sunset. Why you gotta do all of this talking on one day? I would have just left it at, hi, my name is Tom. Okay. Like, I'm not shy.
He mentioned he lived with his wife, Sarah, and enjoyed the peace and quiet of the neighborhood.
Okay.
After our short talk, he left me to finish moving in. Todd seemed like a nice guy, just trying to be a decent neighbor.
Nah.
He was at least 20 or 30 years older than me, so I knew we wouldn't become good friends or anything. But it was nice to know someone friendly was around. The next few days, I settled in, taking walks around the neighborhood and just getting used to the new area.
Oh, yeah?
Oddly, it was hard not to notice that nobody was ever outside. Every time I looked around, or walked around, I never saw any neighbors on their porches or in their yards. The whole town felt hollow, empty in a way that made me feel out of place. Honestly, it was kind of depressing. But around 4 one afternoon, Todd came by again.
What?
He wanted to let me know that he and his wife were having a get-together with a bunch of the other neighbors for dinner that night at 7:30 at his place. He said it'd be a great opportunity for me to get to meet all the other nice people around here.
That's funny, because I don't see nobody else. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I definitely wasn't expecting this invitation from everything I'd seen, or I guess from what I hadn't seen. I figured everyone just kept to themselves, like I usually did. But it seemed like this...
Apparently you don't, because it seemed like you became best friends with Todd. Instantly, day one.
One of my only chances to get to meet people, so I accepted the offer.
Oh, yeah?
He said he looked forward to seeing me there, then left. I was excited, but mostly nervous about meeting a bunch of people. I knew it'd be good for me, though. Come 7:30, I got ready and started walking over to his place. The whole neighborhood was dark and silent. Peaceful, but also a little strange feeling. Again, giving that hollow sense, like I was somehow all alone. As I got up to Todd's place, it looked the same. Inactive, and no cars or anything near his home. I headed up to the door. It was already cracked open, but I still knocked on it anyway. Todd immediately yelled from inside for me to come on in and make myself at home.
Without checking the door first? Come on in, without checking nothing first. Todd sus.
Voice echoed through the halls, and it was real quiet in there. No other voices, or even sounds of movement. Not what I expected from a whole neighborhood get-together. I took a few steps in. His home had very moody lighting, making it...
I forgot. I know you said your name is Casey or Cassie. Are you a woman or man? I forgot. If you're a woman, this makes it so much more worse.
Dark and shadowy in all the rooms. I headed down to the kitchen where I heard Todd's voice come from. But when I got there, it was empty. He wasn't there.
I'm not there either.
I called out his name, and then I called out his wife's name, and got no response from either.
I'm leaving.
And then I noticed there was nothing even in the kitchen.
Then I noticed I'm leaving. What are you talking about? What? Nah.
Food on the table and no signs of any sort of get-together. And the realization set in that nobody else was here.
Maybe you early.
Then, all of a sudden, I heard the front door slam shut.
Wow.
It startled me, and I quickly called out Todd's name again, only to still be met by the disturbing silence of his home. I walked back to the end of the hallway.
We crashing windows today. We busting open windows today. And we going, yay! It's safe to say that my wife is up. I promise you, we breaking windows. We breaking windows. We out of there. Just because you close the front door don't mean shit.
confirming the front door was now shut. I felt the sense of imminent danger, of fear creeping into me that, up until that point in my life, I'd never felt before. I started hurrying up to the front door, and as I did, I heard a couple steps from somewhere in one of the rooms behind me. I didn't waste any time turning to look. I got up to the door. It was locked in 3 different places, which told me this definitely wasn't some sort of accident. As I undid all the locks, Todd called my name out and asked where I was going.
I said your name, Todd, about 15 times. No response. Now you call my name. Yeah, no response.
I could hear him quickly approaching behind me, his voice getting deeper and less friendly with every word he spoke. I got the door open and sprinted back home. I debated calling the police, but ultimately decided I would and let the officers figure out whether or not he had intentions.
They in cahoots.
I'm glad I did, because a couple minutes after making it home, Todd showed up, banging on my door and peering into my windows from outside. He left before the officers made it, though. But things only got even weirder.
Left my ass. Once you get on my property, because I have Adidas security, you're stuck in one spot. You know? Literally, as soon as you get on my property, it's like super glue. You're not going nowhere. You're not. Or even if you try to get out your shoes, it's like gravity on my property is different from your. It's like, what you call that? It's a hyperbolic time chamber. With Goku and all them, where they be training, and like the gravity be so crazy heavy, intense that you can't move. Yeah, it's like a bubble, and once you get inside my bubble, pause. Gravity is just holding you down. Adidas gravity is holding you down. You're not going nowhere.
From here. In the questioning from the cops, it turned out Todd had never planned any get-together with other neighbors, and didn't even have a wife, or live with anyone named Sarah.
Wow.
He lived there alone for over a decade. Basically, everything he told me was a lie. Just some fabricated story to get me to feel comfortable going over to his house.
He probably did have a wife, but he probably clucked her up and now she's in the basement.
But unfortunately, nothing could be done about it, because there was no way to prove he was trying to do anything bad. Everyone, including the cops, knew it was all way too odd for him to be completely innocent. But it didn't matter. There was nothing they could do. I moved away from there as soon as possible. Every so often, I'll check up on that guy, looking up his name and hoping he'd been arrested or something, because I know if he isn't, he's just gonna find another victim to lure into his home. What he plans to do, or plan to do to me, I hope he can never follow through on.
That's probably why everybody else was in their house. Not a soul out was outside. Right? And I really wish we got security footage. Like, you need some security footage. You need some Ring cameras or something on your front door. That would have been scary as hell, seeing him bang on your door like that. AV. Albert Vincent. I don't know.
I used to live in an unnoteworthy, simple neighborhood, right in the center of a regular old town. Most of the families living around there had been there for years, if not decades. I was in the same boat, having grown up there, and had the house handed down from my parents when they moved away. This was in my 3rd year living in that house. At some point during the fall, a new neighbor moved into one of the houses across the street from mine. I wasn't the type to go introduce myself or anything like that.
Me too.
But I saw him moving his stuff out of a U-Haul, and he looked like any other ordinary guy. A week after he moved in went by with nothing else to note. Until one night I got home from work and saw the guy standing outside my home. I recognized him right away, seeing it was the new neighbor, but he didn't seem to be walking by or walking up to my house, just standing on the sidewalk, looking at it.
Okay.
I pulled into the garage and got out to go say hi and see what was going on.
Nothing. You got it. I'm not doing that. Again, because you're on the sidewalk, that's public property. Literally, as soon as you step on my property, I'm clucking you up. But not me, because I'm going to keep my hands clean. I'm going to get my Adidas to cluck you up in all due disrespect.
In the 20 seconds it took me to get out, he was already gone. He must have hurried away. I found it really unusual, but didn't think too much about it. I had tomorrow off as well, so if he was just stopping by to say hello or ask me something, I'd at least be home to answer the door. I went about my night, and kind of surprisingly, I forgot about the guy really quickly. He didn't even cross my mind again until morning.
How did you forget that?
While I was outside grabbing the mail, I just happened to look across the street at his house for a second. Didn't look like anything was going on, no lights on or anything. Though just before I looked away, I caught a glimpse of something move in the upstairs window. I did a double take, but all that was left were the blinds, shifting back and forth, like he'd just been standing there, maybe watching me. I got a little unsettled, but I got my mail and went back inside. Could have been a coincidence, or him just scoping out the new neighborhood. I tried to not worry myself. I spent the day doing chores I'd been putting off, then just chilling, watching Netflix, YouTube, all the regular stuff. I did occasionally peek out the windows, just to see if he was out there. Sort of a gut feeling I kept having, that I was being watched. Every time I looked, though, I didn't see anything.
If you feel like you're being watched, close your blinds, close your curtains, and let me do the checklist. Please, check the checklist. Hey, 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 hey. Nobody check checklist. Hey, nobody.
Once the sun set, I thought surely I was good for the night. But I did one more look out the window, and that's when I saw him again. He was standing at the end of my driveway.
Oh, you on my property now! You on my property now! That's all Adidas is doing. That shouldn't have been on my property. You was pushing the limits when you was on the sidewalk. And I warned your ass. I warned you. You get on my property, I'm clucking you up. Point blank period. There's no, come on.
I don't know what it was about the way he was standing, but for some reason I was sure he'd just come from the top of my driveway, like he was close up to my house just a moment ago. I went to the front door and opened it, walking out toward him. I wasn't trying to come off as angry. If anything, I think I was being too friendly. I just wanted to ask him what was up and make sure everything was cool.
Nah, I would have walked outside. What's up? Todd, what's up? I said, what's up?
As soon as he saw me, he started walking down the sidewalk,
Nah.
pretending like he was just going for a stroll around the neighborhood.
Nah. Spider-Man, bring that in. What you doing? Huh? What you doing? Why you on my property? I'm shaking him. I don't know if you got that, but I'm shaking. What you doing, Todd? Come back to my property, and it's over. It's right. It's GG's. I'm breaking balls today. What? Oh.
Out a couple times, only to be ignored. So once I got halfway down the driveway and realized he wasn't going to turn around, I just gave up and went back inside. Now I was really sketched out. I thought I had to be missing something. New neighbor guy, constantly looking at my house and even caught staring at me from his window. It was all so creepy and happening for seemingly no reason at all. I stayed up for another couple hours. I saw nothing else, but I still didn't feel great when I went to bed. Took a while to fall asleep, still with that aching gut feeling that I was being watched. I don't know how, but I did manage to pass out at some point. Although I woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. My whole body sat up quickly, and I felt incredibly uncomfortable, like something was going on. Yet the whole house was silent. I was so awake though, eyes wide open and heart beating rapidly. I turned the lamp on next to me and looked around. Everything seemed okay. The room was quiet,
Check under
and
your
it
bed.
honestly looked like nothing was happening.
Check under
But
your
that
bed.
sinking gut feeling that I was being watched still remained,
Under your bed.
still pressuring me to not write this off as nothing.
Check under your
I
bed.
got out of bed and went up to the door. I reached out to open it, but in the act of unlocking it, I had this feeling that what I was doing was wrong, that maybe I shouldn't just unlock it and look around. So I left it locked and instead put my ear up to the door. After a moment, I could hear soft creaks in the hallway. Wasn't sure if it was the house or something else, so I knelt down and looked under the door. The lights weren't on out there, but I saw nothing on the other side of the door. I stayed knelt down for a few seconds, and then something suddenly moved past it. I jumped back, trying not to make a sound. The creaking instantly stopped. He heard me. After a moment of hesitation, several loud footsteps moved along the floor and right up to the other side of the room. I was still in shock, trying to be as quiet as possible, sitting up against the front of my bed. I could see the shadow of his boots under the door.
Jesus.
They started shifting around, and then suddenly I couldn't see anything. The whole bottom of the door was covered up by something. I leaned a bit closer. It took
Adidas on lockdown. Adidas on lockdown. You locking. This house is on lockdown. Nobody's coming in or out until the cops come here. That's it.
a second to make out what it was. But
And you know what I think about when I say Adidas on lock, Adidas lockdown? Like, it's when y'all remember that scene in Endgame where right before Hulk snapped his fingers with the Infinity Stones, Iron Man, he said something to Jarvis or somebody, and his whole house literally was on lockdown. Like it was like a shield or something. That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
barely, I saw an eye
Jump,
looking back at
Jesus!
me. He
Ah!
was looking under the door. I jumped up, ran around, and got my phone. My hands were shaking so badly, it was difficult to even dial 911. I could hear him moving around outside.
Luckily for you, and fortunate enough, I have a pot of boiling 350-degree oil ready to go at all times for situations like this. I saw the eye, hit the oil, ah! That's not death, is it? Right? That's not death. You hurt like a mother. You hurt like a mother. You gonna hurt like a mother clucker though.
The room too, thumping on the floor. It seemed that by the time the police were on the way and I was done with the phone call, he was gone. The whole house was quiet again. I didn't risk checking around though, just in case he was hiding. When cops arrived, they found the house to be empty. I immediately told them my suspicions of the neighbor across the street from me. They went over and talked to him. It was clear he'd been awake for a while when he answered the door, despite it being 2 a.m. Apparently, one thing came to another, and the guy blew his cover. accidentally admitting to something he shouldn't have known. They took him in and were able to get the full story out of him, confirming he was the one that broke into my home that night. And he'd been watching me for a lot longer than I was aware of. It wasn't clear how he even found me, or even why me in general, as we had never even met before. Cops found his search history, having my name in it, several times over the course of the last month, even prior to him moving to the neighborhood. There's a chance he even made the move, specifically to be right across from me. He had some other similar, weird stalking cases in the past, so they didn't let him off easy. Shouldn't have to worry about him for a long time, but I still haven't gone a day without thinking about it. It really sucks not having all the answers that I want. He must have broken into my home that night for a reason other than to just stalk me. I think he had some horrible intentions. I was lucky my gut feeling kept me from opening my door.
I'm just saying, that was too close to call, though. That was insane. You saw that eyeball would have freaked me out. I would have tried to throw something at the eyeball.
In my late 20s, I moved a few towns over for work. The experience went fairly smooth, I thought. I settled in at my new job really well, and I managed to find a decent apartment quickly and move what little I had into it. The building was small, just 6 units and only 2 per floor. So essentially there was just a flight of stairs going up to each story, where there were 2 doors across from each other for the 2 rooms on each floor. I was on the top story, and the woman who lived across from me was the one who gave me the tour. I think she owned a couple units in the building. The woman was older than me, I think around 45, and she wasn't friendly or unfriendly. She was very non-expressive, sort of monotone, and didn't seem to care about her appearance either. She had long, shaggy hair and a tired, mute look over her face every time I saw her. The apartment room was nice enough for me to not care, though. Honestly, I thought I'd never really see her anyway, but I couldn't have been more wrong. On my first full day of work after the move, I came home late at 8 p.m., heading up the stairs and found the woman standing outside the door to my room. I was so tired from the long day, and also not expecting to see her, that I couldn't form a sentence. I definitely made things a bit awkward, as she looked at me with that dead stare she always had, and then she asked if this was when I usually got home from work. I thought that was an odd question, but I just said I wasn't too sure because I'd just started the job recently. Without even acknowledging my answer, she turned, opened her door, walked into her room, and slammed the door shut behind her. I didn't know if she was meaning to have that much attitude, or if she was mad at me for some reason, but I just headed inside my unit. I was too tired to give it much thought, and didn't even make dinner before falling asleep. I must have slept pretty good, because I was passed out until 6 a.m. when I was woken abruptly by a loud knock at the door. I jumped out of bed, completely dazed and startled by it. The knocks kept coming, so I had no choice but to walk over and open the door.
You couldn't check the peephole? You don't got no peephole? That's us. If we don't got a... Oh, Jesus. If you don't got no peephole, I highly suggest you make a makeshift peephole.
The woman was standing there, looking the same as always, almost like a walking corpse. "Can I help you?" I said groggily, still trying to wake up. She made this really strange smile, surely fake, asked a really weird question.
Thank you.
She wanted me to come over to her place after work tonight.
For what?
There was still no...
For what? For why? Get the hell out of my face.
In her voice, which gave it a really unsettling feeling. Something wasn't right about this. I didn't know exactly what she meant by coming over after work, Like dinner or what?
What?
But I tried to be nice and said I was just going to be busy. Without any further response, she again turned around and went back to her room, slamming the door shut. It being 6 a.m. already, I figured I'd just stay up and get ready for work.
Oh, man.
I left the apartment at 8 and got home at 7. Thankfully, the woman wasn't outside my door, so this time I was able to get into my unit and rest without any weird conversations. I really wasn't sure what was up with her. I didn't feel worried, more just weirded out by her behavior. Anyway, I made dinner and got in bed at 10. I had my alarm set for 6:45, but was again woken abruptly to pounding at the front door.
Come on.
I got up, already sure who it was.
Lady, if you pound on my door one more time, you wake me out my shit. Matter of fact, don't even worry about that. If you just knock on my door, I'm busting your head wide open. Like literally, I'm getting an axe and up.
The door, and standing right there was the same woman with the same dull face. And even more strange, the conversation went nearly the exact same as it did the previous morning.
What are you talking about, lady? You already asked me this. I said no, I'm busy. How many times you gonna ask that? Ask me this one more time. Ask it one more time. Ask it one more time. I'm going Super Saiyan on you. I don't know why I did that. I don't know. Hey, I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. I was like, can you imagine? Can you imagine the older lady's point of view? You knock on my door. You literally asked me the same question you did the night before, and all you see from me is. If I was the older lady, I would have got back into my apartment. Can you imagine?
She asked the same thing, for me to come over to her place after work, and I made the same excuse. She went back into her apartment and slammed the door, and I was left just confused and uneasy about the whole thing.
What is it called when you forget something all the time? Is it dementia? Alzheimer's? I don't know what the difference is. It sounds like she has that. Or she could just be a cluck ass. I don't know.
Her lack of emotions made it impossible to decipher what she was really meaning by doing all this. I stayed up, having a small breakfast, and then heading to work. The day was long once again, staying in the office until at least 8, but probably closer to 8:30. I didn't make it back to the apartment until 9:15. The whole lot was empty and quiet. Nobody outside, and all the lights in the building were off, as most people were probably getting in bed by then. I hoped this meant the woman wouldn't bother me tonight, and I could just slip in unnoticed.
Pause!
I parked and got inside, going up the stairs and trying not to be too loud. When I got up to my room, she wasn't there. I sighed in relief and put my key in the door, but something was off. It was already unlocked.
What are you talking about? Something was off. The door's unlocked. No! Okay. Something's off. No shit. It's off. I thought you was going to say, like, there was a breeze in the hallway or something. You know? Or, like, one of the hallway lights was a little dim. That's off. That's off. A little breeze in the hallway, that's off. It's hotter than usual, that's off. My front door being unlocked, that's clocked. Hey.
I froze for a second, the realization hitting me. She had to be the only other person that could unlock it. But still, in the moment though, I couldn't fully believe it.
I'm calling the cops.
I mean, the lady was creepy and all, but surely not that creepy. There was no way this was as bad as I was thinking.
Call the cops!
I opened the door, and I noticed something knob as well, but I didn't pay attention, as I had a more pressing situation.
What is stopping you from calling the cops? What is stopping you from calling the cops? Your front door is unlocked. Immediately I'm calling the cops. Like, what are you talking? Child?
I was focused on. The door closed behind me as I took a few steps into my apartment. The lights were all off, just like I left them, but my bedroom door was open. I could hear my heart beating as I walked up and looked into my room.
Shut up.
The woman was standing next to my bed, her face mostly covered by shadows.
Yeah.
But I could still see the dull, emotionless expression she had. I started to mutter, "What are you doing?" But I stumbled over my words when I glanced down at the kitchen knife in her hand. After the moment of shock, I ran for the door. I grabbed the handle and tried to swing it open, but almost lost my footing as I wasn't expecting it to not budge. It was stuck in the doorway. The knob wouldn't even move. I immediately knew the woman had rigged the door so it locked me inside with her. In that moment, I suddenly felt adrenaline fill me, and rather than being scared, I was pissed off at whatever this psycho lady was doing. She came at me, still holding the knife, but I don't think she was expecting a fight, because I was very easily able to catch her off guard and get the knife away from her. I held her down and called the police, keeping her under control until they got there.
Why didn't you just call the police in the beginning? When you noticed your front door unlocked? What the fuck? What the fuck?
It was only after they got her in handcuffs that I noticed she'd actually gotten a quick slash on the back of my arm. Nothing too bad, but once the adrenaline was gone, it wasn't exactly painless. Anyway, she apparently had some serious disorders and wasn't taking the proper medication for the last several months.
I don't give a
leading
fuck.
to her having an episode.
I don't care.
That was the excuse I got from her family, but it didn't really change anything. In the end, though, everything worked out okay. I was able to handle myself and didn't have any lasting impacts from the whole ordeal. It definitely could have been 1,000 times worse, though.
You didn't have no effects? Mentally, you probably had some effects. You know? That you not immediately calling the cops when you notice your front door open. That's beyond me. Like, you thought, there's so many things that could have happened, that could have went wrong. There's probably a bunch of scenarios. You going inside your unit, even when you noticed the door was unlocked, that could have been really, really bad. It could have been a number, bro. It could have been her and 20 other people waiting on you. It could have been rats, bro. It could have been GGs. It's safe to say that you need to get your own house or get your own space or something. Jesus Christ. See, we've been here in this house for years. And I don't even know none of my neighbors' names. And I like it like that. We may wave or say what's up. You know, but that's it. That's it. You know. In the summertime, I be seeing the kids. I be seeing the parents walking their dogs. You know, going. I be seeing the kids playing around. I be seeing the parents with the stroller and the babies. Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna go ahead and close my curtains, close my blinds. Yeah. That's that. All that. Nah. All that friendly shit. You got it. You got it. Keep it cool. Keep it classy. And I love you. Stay happy. My family.